Hello and welcome to News Across Nigeria, where we make sure you're in the loop of what's happening now across the Nigerian Federation. I'm Olumide Macaulay. On the program today, Civilian Joint Task Force rescues Amina Ali, one of over 200 Chibok schoolgirls in Damboa local government area of Borno State. The rescued girl is now a nursing mother. Nigeria Labour Congress staged protests against increase in petrol price across the country, insists government reverts to 86 naira 50 kobo per litre. And men of the Nigeria police step up operations in Ogun, Akwa-Ibom and Delta states. Thank you for joining us, and we begin with news from the Northeast. Members of the Civilian Joint Force operating in Damboa local government area of Borno State have rescued one of the abducted Chibok schoolgirls. The girl, identified as Amina, was abducted alongside over 200 of her schoolmates from the government's girls' secondary school Chibok, Borno State, in April 2014. The secretary of the Association of Parents of the Kidnapped Chibok Girls, Sana Usman, confirmed Amina's return to Channels television correspondence via a phone call. Usman said Amina, who was found with a child with other women in Sambisa following military operations, told the civilian JTF members that she was taken from Chibok. Usman says he has met Amina, who's since been reunited with her family in Balala village. Governor Kashim Shettima, in a meeting with United Nations humanitarian affairs officials at the Borno State Government House, said he's received news of the rescue, but yet to be fully briefed. And now to the Nigeria Labour Congress strike. Members of the NLC, led by Mr. Ayuba Wabba, have taken to the streets of Abuja, Nigeria's capital, to protest against the recent hike in the price of petrol. The protest is also a fallout of the negotiation between the workers' union and the federal government, which ended in a deadlock as the leadership of the NLC under Mr. Wabba walked out of the meeting. The president of the NLC says the 145 naira pump price per litre of petrol is outrageous and must be reviewed downward. He's also asking the government to address the corruption identified with subsidy rather than just increase the price of petrol.
What used to be known as subsidy, all of us agree that is a scam. But instead of addressing the scam, which was established in 2012, we decided to shift the burden to the consumers. That's what happened. There is nothing new if we agree essentially that arising from our collective action in 2012, that there is subsidy, absolutely, in the management of the subsidy and the entire process of the downstream sector. I think the first point, because NLC has supported fully the issue of fight against corruption, the issue of good governance, and that is to demonstrate our commitment to the effect that we will continue to respond to issues that are detrimental to the generality of Nigerians. And therefore, if as far back as 2012, we have recognized the inherent corruption in the system, many have been identified that have assisted themselves with our commonwealth. As we speak today, none of them is under the bar or behind the bar. As we speak today, instead of addressing the inherent corruption in the system, and why the refineries have refused to work, which we know, the refineries will never work if it is cheaper and is more profitable for people to import and sell. The issue of subsidy collectively started when we begin to import to actually implement what is being produced or refined. And therefore, people saw a lot of window to cash in and exploit Nigerians. And therefore, instead of even refining now, we have resorted to importing 90% of our needs. And therefore, if we don't address corruption, even the attempt by government to fix the refineries will be scuttled. And therefore, Labour, and particularly NLC, under our leadership, have said consistently, if policies are right, we'll support it. But if policies are anti-people, we'll continue to resist. And that's why we are here today, to resist this policy of saying that we must allow market forces to drive the pump price of these very essential products. Because one, even in our houses, because of lack of light, we must continue to buy petroleum to drive our small businesses. We must continue to use petrol to do a lot of other activities. And therefore, once the cost goes up, the cost of goods and services also will go up.
Meanwhile, there's been varying degrees of compliance to the NLC directive across the Federation. While some states recorded full or partial compliance, some states have defied the directive to stay away from work.
In the South-South, both federal and state civil servants in Calabar, the Cross River state capital, joined in the nationwide strike as declared by organized labor to kick against the hike in the price of petrol.
Our workers can earn 18,000 and buy fuel 145 naira.
All schools have remained closed.
And in Edo State, labor leaders led workers in the state on a peaceful rally in solidarity to the national body. In the southwest, residents of Oshogbo, the Osun state capital, woke up to traffic gridlock at the state secretariat. Other labor leaders prevented workers from gaining entrance into their offices.
We are occupying this place. That means no activities is going on. We are going to stay here until we are tired.
This strike is indefinite and it's in total, and we have resolved to pursue it until the federal government listens to our voice.
Elsewhere in the southwest, mixed reactions have trailed labor's industrial action. In Abeokuta, the Ogun state capital, state civil servants resumed for work early Wednesday morning at the state secretariat, while judiciary workers were locked out of the state high court and magistrate courts. While the peaceful protests continued on the streets of Ado-Ekiti, the state capital, security operatives have been deployed to ensure that things don't get out of hand.
Nigeria is not in a very good state. Today, the rate at which a bag of rice is being sold compared to that, to what happened, I think, last year, is just unimaginable.
In the northeast, civil servants in Borno State have also defied the NLC order and continued with their official duties. Normalcy has since returned to the Musa Usman Secretariat, recently attacked by a suicide bomber.
I'm not supporting the NLC. My reason is deregulation of this petroleum. It's an idea, it's a good idea that federal government remove the subsidy.
In the southeast, a trip round Owerri, the Imo state capital, shows partial compliance to the strike. However, a visit to the state secretariat along the Port Harcourt Road shows skeletal activities as junior workers all stayed back at home, leaving the senior staff to do the job. And in neighboring Anambra State, workers have also shunned the NLC directive. Government offices and private businesses all opened for the day's job. In spite of meetings held with the federal government, it appears this has failed to yield any result to stop labor. All eyes are now on the principal actors to see whether a truce will be eventually reached.
You're watching news across Nigeria. Please stay with us because coming up we have in the studios with us a labor lawyer, Mr. Ahmed Adetola Kazim, a legal practitioner, who will be sharing his professional expertise on this issue of the strike nationwide by the Nigeria Labour Congress. Don't go away.